Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. And today I'm going to be talking about the 5 best albums by Dolly Parton. Now, Dolly Parton is an incredible vocalist, musician, and songwriter. And I think she has been underestimated very often because she plays with her appearance. I think that her image is sometimes there to get into a certain state of acceptance, which might be able to deny her musical capacities. But without further ado, I'm gonna go straight into the top 5 of best Dolly Parton albums. I'm gonna kick off this list with a more poppy Dolly Parton. Yeah, Here You Come Again on number 5. Now, a friend of mine came over recently and I put one of the albums on this list on. I thought you got to hear it because he wasn't really um, aware of Dolly Parton. And I said, I'll show you one of her records. I'll let you listen to one of her records. And he said, oh, okay, but is it going to be one of her country albums or one of those horrible pop albums? I said, well, what do you mean horrible pop albums? Because in the 80s, she became more poppy and poppier. He said, well, like Here You Come Again. I said, agree, Here You Come Again is a pop album. But it's a good pop album. It's a 1978 pop album. And I recently found a first US copy, which was not so hard to find, by the way, although in the Netherlands, um, it's not easy to find original Dolly Parton US pressings. But I wanted a original US pressing because when you put this on, and it's that warm, full, detailed sound, good American mixing. It is just an incredible treat. This is smart, tight, and good developed pop. When I just there are a lot of great songs here, but even just focusing on the opening track, Here You Come Again, at 2 minutes and 56 seconds. The melodies are so incredible. I mean, the way she changes in speed on her vocals and how she can make her voice intimate and then burst out. This is pop of a whole different level. And yeah, I understand there's a difference between poppy Dolly Parton and country Dolly Parton, and I'm gonna be spending most of my time in this list on country Dolly Parton. But in the world of pop Dolly Parton, you gotta check this out. Here You Come Again on number 5. On number 4, a recent discovery for me, a recent one. My Tennessee Mountain Home. And we are already in a land of sheer brilliance with this album. Dolly Parton made this album after she became a big success. And one of the things she mentioned a lot in interviews and still is a big attraction in her world and even in her theme park is the mountain home where she grew up. Because Dolly Parton grew up in somewhere in the mountains, actually rather far removed from the town. And if you listen to her stories, the way she grew up, it's as if she was living in a different time, not just a different place, but a different time. And they were poor, um, but they appeared to be very happy. And that very short element is so beautifully, almost melancholically, but honestly presented on this album. As a matter of fact, with regard to the honesty of how she talks about it, there is one song title which for me truly defines the qualities of her as a songwriter. In the good old days when times were bad. I mean, I'll repeat the title. In the good old days when times were bad. That is Dolly Parton's intelligence in a nutshell. Because both of these sentences are correct and they give shape towards emotions on one hand and realism on the other. And that is the beauty of her writing. And This record, it starts off with her reading of a letter she wrote just after she arrived in Nashville, and that story is it's rather impressive. Really, it's so impressive because she sounds so. In the Netherlands, we say, or in the Netherlands, we say bleu, so new, so naive to this world. But she's riding home, feeling sort of like homesick, and she's encountering the country scene and the music scene in Nashville, and to read it and to listen to it through her eyes, it's heartbreaking. And there are so much more songs that are heartbreaking. The second song I remember, um, and then she remembers her parents most of all. I cannot rephrase it or frame it the way she does. It's so beautiful. It's so sincere. She's such an incredible, talented writer. And this record gives us an insight in where she comes from, where she's going to. It's brilliant. On number 4, Dolly Parton, My Tennessee Mountain Home. Number 3, we're going to go into an 80s album, the album Trio. Now, this is not Dolly Parton alone. This is Dolly Parton together with Linda Ronstadt and Emily Harris, two other grand dames of the country world and country scene. And the way these voices blend together is just amazing. There is such an incredible sound coming from this collaboration. A song like Wildflowers, but the thing that um, almost made me cry is this third song, To Know Him Is to Love Him. The way they sing that together is just mesmerizing. On number 3, Trio. On number 2, I'm going to be talking about crying a lot here in this Dolly Parton list. Number 2, Coat of Many Colors. Now, it took me so long before I could find this album here in Europe, and I believe I eventually found it in London because I couldn't find it in Germany, I couldn't find it in the Netherlands, couldn't find it in France. It's rather tough to find the old original country albums of Dolly Parton, but when you find one, it is an incredible treat. I mean, this one, Coat of Many Colors. It's in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die, and it belongs there. Just as My Tennessee Mountain Home, this reflects on her youth. And the opening track, Coat of Many Colors, tells the story of how her mother made her a coat, but because they were poor, she couldn't afford the right fabric. So she made the coat out of the fabric she could find. And it was a coat of many colors. And she was so proud, and she's so proud of it. And she comes to school, and the children laugh at her because they say, yeah, you're poor, and that coat is poor. And the way she sings it, the way she writes it, it will break your heart. It's one of the most beautiful intimate songs that is out there. I mean, just talking about it just gives me goosebumps. It's so well written, it's so well sung. She also makes a comparison with Joseph and his colored coats. There's so much beautiful, sincere love in there. And the entire album is just a masterpiece of country. A masterpiece of country. On number 2, Coat of Many Colors. And I'm gonna end off the list with my most played Dolly Parton album. Also one that I've been trying to find for a very long time until I found it. And then I would play it twice a day for a certain period. It's Jolene. Jolene. What's there to say about Jolene? Opening with the title track. I mean, I think that is lyrically one of the most impressive things ever written. Dolly Parton tells the story of a woman who knows or thinks there is another woman who is more interesting than she is, or at least her husband might think so. And she starts a plea. She's not gonna kick him, threaten him like the Beyonce version of the song, which also is interesting in her own way. But this one has so much more nuance, ambiguity, doubt, and vulnerability that the original is just a smashing, brilliant piece of writing and singing. I mean, the way it goes from Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. I mean, right, those melodies. It's just incredible. And all these songs are wonderfully written. Wonderfully written. And then you have a very smart lyric like Jolene, and then you have a very direct love lyric. In what way it is a romantic love that diverse. It's not even about a romantic love. I will always love you, but that song. How did she? And it was written in a very short amount of time. I believe there are even stories that say that she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day in the studio. That's insane. I mean, those are some of the best songs ever written. But the I Will Always Love You, and how that comes out of the more down tone building of the verses. I mean, it's just incredible. It's incredible writing. It's incredible singing. She is a master of songwriting. And on number one, Jolene. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.